fat is not the enemy. So if you were to break it down, I'd recommend for most people 50% of your diet should be carbohydrate, approximately 30% of your diet should be protein, and the remaining 20% should come from high quality fat sources. So that's in a nutshell. Pick high quality foods and have that approximate macro split. If you're not interested in splitting your macros like that, look at your plate. Be like 50% of my plate's carbs, around about a fist is the protein source, and the whatever the thumb is the fat. Go for that, right? In terms of recovery, yeah, you can do things like saunas and ice baths and foam rolling and the mobility that we mentioned. All of those things will make you feel better, and subjectively, they'll improve you recovering. Subjectively, they'll make you sleep better, and that will have a flow-on effect for recovery. But as I mentioned just then, sleep is the best way to recover from any like intense sort of exercise regime, any intense routine that you may have. Getting adequate sleep is really important. So I recommend that people get 8 to 9 hours of sleep opportunity per night. Again, that's very hard to achieve, but if you can get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep per night, then you're in the ballpark. So getting that minimum of 7 is really going to be the biggest thing to improve your recovery. So nutrition, adequate levels of carbohydrate, protein, and sleep are going to be the main two that are going to drive the needle. Everything else that costs you money, like saunas and ice baths and massages and things like that, they're good. They're the one percenters, but they're not the main drivers. So focus on the big two.
I love that. It's like you're kind of, when I'm struggling, and you're like, start sleeping like a grown up, start eating like a grown up. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They go home and they have a McDonald's, and then they don't. Then they stay up
Yeah,
playing the PlayStation. And all. Man, I know you're a
yeah.
big fan of like creatine as a supplement for everyday kind of usage for
Mm.
athletes. Is there minerals or tools or hacks that you found to sleep better? Is there something like they say magnesium, for example? Are you
Yeah,
swayed
magnesium
either
does
way?
help. Well, it depends. Okay, so there's so much you can do for sleep. I went through a period of my life before I even started training jiu-jitsu where I was a self-proclaimed sleeping nerd. I got really into the biohacking sphere, the biohacking movement,
Nice.
but my interest was in sleep. And the ring that I'm wearing is an Aura ring, so it tracks my sleep. So I wear it every day. Like I'm obsessed with sleep for a long time. Magnesium definitely helps. If you have a deficiency, it will definitely help to supplement that deficiency. And a common one is vitamin D. That will also help your recovery, it'll help you feel better, and it'll help you sleeping. You mentioned creatine as a supplement. Just as an aside, definitely recommend creatine monohydrate for all people training, and even people that don't train. There's been evidence to support that helps your brain health as well, despite not training at all. So creatine is definitely a supplement I recommend. Magnesium is good if you can afford it and are willing to invest in supplements. But again, it comes down to that 1-2% benefit, if you will. So, but then again, if we take all these 1-2 percenters that I've mentioned and add them all together as an aggregate, then we're looking at substantial gains, particularly over a long period of time. But I think in the short term, to improve sleep, I know you've probably heard it a million times, but limiting your amount of blue light exposure before bed will really, really help. Having some sort of down regulation, particularly if you have a similar routine like me. I train jujitsu,